Yo, what's up? It's Colin and Theodore Raz. And right now we are going to be technically discussing the Halloween movies that I wrote, and we're also going to be discussing the rejected sequels that barely got made. And first, um, Theodore, what exactly do you think shouldn't have been a Halloween sequel? Like, which one do you think should have got rejected and thrown in the garbage?
Um, I really want to say Halloween. Halloween like H2O because they should have brought Lori back, even if she because in the movie they made a mistake of putting her under new aliases of what was her name in Halloween H2O?
Carrie Tate.
Carrie Tate. Like, why don't you just keep her real name? I understand trying to hide her from Michael, but they should have dropped it. They're like, you shouldn't have brought Lori back in the first place.
Well,
What do you think about her going on new aliases of a different name? What do you think? Do you think that was a good idea to hide from her? How did Michael find out her real name?
well, he basically broke into Marion Chambers' house and managed to steal Lori's file.
If you guys didn't see Halloween 2, Halloween show, check it out.
Yeah, if you saw Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, you would have known that Laurie Strode had to somehow survive the Inferno explosion. But there was a rejected script for Halloween 2 where that didn't actually happen, but she was in a high-rise apartment in another town.
Also, I also have a question for you.
Yeah?
Do you think Halloween 1 and the 2018 version that I know and love, do you think that was a good idea for Halloween 2, or do you think it was good with the other sequels going on and on?
Well,
I mean, because when we have a horror person that died in the first one, we know what that starts for endless sequels.
sequels.
Yeah, you just have endless on end until you get to like a resurrection or some shit.
Well, Halloween 2018 didn't really have a lot of mistakes that H2O did.
But it was supposed to take place right after the 1978 version, right?
Right. Even John Carpenter said that it had to be a direct sequel to the original. It had to ignore Halloween 2 through Resurrection.
It basically cut out all the other ones besides the first one.
Exactly.
And then we also have a question. I also have some to you. Rob Zombies. What do you think about his? Do you think he had a good vision, or was he? Everyone says he has a good vision, but he was not a good screenwriter. Like, yeah, I agree. He had a good he had a good vision, but this on paper didn't sound good. How he made it, the acting was bad, the setup was bad. I think he could have been director good, but he should have had someone else write it for him, ghostwriter.
Well, to be honest, Rob Zombie had a really good vision for how the idea for the remake of Halloween should have been. Because in the original Halloween, Michael didn't need a reason to kill. He was a psychopath. There was no explanation for his psychotic ways. They were just there.
Do you guys okay? So, question for you guys: do you think Halloween 3 should have been in the? What do you think? Do you think that should have been time? Even though it doesn't involve who the psycho boogeyman.
Halloween 3 really kind of sucked.
I remember everyone saying they like it, but I'm like, here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, are you serious? You like it? Well, where's Michael?
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I'm like, Michael, where is he? He's not coming.
Yeah, because if you see the first opening scene of Halloween 3, 1983.
Is that when it takes place?
Yes.
Okay.
It kind of takes place in this same universe, Michael Myers universe.
So what was this spinoff by John Carpenter?
Actually, John Carpenter, Deborah Hill wrote this sequel.
The third one or the second one or both?
Both.
So is this the idea where John Carpenter wrote all the way from part 1 to 3, and then he ended it, but then who came in to keep going?
Mustafa Akkad.
Shout out to him for keeping the sequel alive.
Yeah, shout out for John Carpenter, who made every Halloween sequel happen from the original.
What time did part 1 take place and when did part 2 take place?
Part 1 took place in 78.
Okay.
Part 2 took place in 81.
I don't know if you guys see the pattern, but there's like a year span between all movies. Like, what place did part 2 take place in 1981, right? What did part 3 take place?
Part 3 took place in 1983.
Yeah, see the pattern? 2 years or every 3 years there's a new one.
But with all respect, John Carpenter actually got his idea for Halloween while watching an Alfred Hitchcock Psycho film, not counting the dumbass sequels in Psycho 1, 2, 3, and 4. He got his idea from the original one. And he even got the idea for Michael Myers' backstory in a mental asylum. He went to visit one to get the inspiration.
Do you guys know that actually John Carpenter would go on a few years later to remake Psycho? He actually went off on a few years after making Halloween. He actually remade a Psycho.
Oh yeah, wasn't it called American Psycho?
Something like that. Yeah, he was going on a few years later to make Psycho after he saw the original Psycho made by Alfred Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm. I saw the Spanish dubbed one at one point. Same concept.
That was funny. Anyway, guys,
So what we're trying to say is Halloween had a lot of great movies. There were some that were worse than others, but they were pretty damn good movies.
Also, guys, Halloween Kills is coming out October 15, 2021. Who's ready for it? I'm ready to see Halloween Kills and see how they pull it off again.
But there's a lot of rumors about the title. Like,
why? What were they going to go? Did they have a different name for Halloween Kills?
Well, some people think that if 2018 was our 1978 and 2021 is our 1981, because 2018 Halloween, shouldn't Halloween Kills be called Halloween 2?
Here's what, we're also having another problem with this one. After that, on October 15, 2022, there's another film coming out called Halloween Ends. And John Carpenter did say that it's not going to be the end of Halloween. He said that's the way it is so far. So there is a script for Halloween Ends, and it's already being produced.
But he said that is not going to be the final Halloween movie.
Even though it's called Halloween Ends, which should be the final movie, right?
It doesn't really mean that it's the end of the movie series.
Yeah, John Carpenter remakes this so many times, it's crazy.
It's actually the end of the Michael versus Laurie Strode saga, not Shaga.
How much do I bet that Laurie's going to kill Halloween Ends or Halloween Kills?
She's probably going to end up fried in part 3.
We have a prediction. What's your prediction for Halloween Kills? What is your prediction?
Well,
about who's getting killed, who's not going to get killed, who's going to go psycho, who's not?
Just like in Halloween H2O, I think that Nurse Chambers is going to get killed first.
I have a question for you. So out of the family, like Laurie Strode's daughter and granddaughter, out of those two, who do you think is going to get killed first or get really seriously injured? Who do you think is going to get killed or injured? Because we know Laurie got injured in the first movie by Michael. He was about to choke her to death, but she faked her death in order to get Michael back and push him into the room where he gets burned in the last movie. And secretly killed.
And what she did was pretty smart.
At least she tried to treat her daughter, but her daughter didn't really care.
You know how in the original movie that Michael was standing in the shadow and just sliced Laurie right on the freaking shoulder like that? She did the same damn scene in the 2018 edition.
I have a prediction for you guys. So you know Allison, the granddaughter, right?
Uh-huh.
If you guys didn't see the end credits, you can see her holding a knife at the end of the movie in her hand. How much do you want to bet she's going to pull a Jamie Lloyd like in the original? How much do you want to bet that she's going to pull a Jamie Lloyd in this? You know what I mean? By kind of Karen Michael when he's kind of out of commission for a little bit.
Oh, the psychic link.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, Jamie Lloyd was psychically connected with her uncle. And
if you guys don't know who Jamie Lloyd is,
go watch the Halloween sequels from 4 to 6, I think.
Can you tell them who she is?
Jamie Lloyd is the
daughter of Laurie Strode.
In the original by the way. Her mom died in a freak accident, a car accident, but faked her death, and she's in with she's really connected with her stepmom, but she's really connected with her stepsister, which is Rachel, right?
Yeah, but she did what Michael did in part 4 and offed her.
He killed her stepmom, and I think it wasn't her fault. She was psychically connected. That's why. Was it her fault? It wasn't her fault. If she didn't touch Michael's hand at the end of part 4, I don't think she would have had connection to him.
Yeah, but
she did. If you guys didn't see the first movie where it shows them behind a mask stabbing his sister, you can see that in the end of part 4, right? Or is that how it is? Is it the beginning of part 4 or end of part 4?
End of part 4.
End of part 4, you'll see the same scene with the mask but she doesn't use a knife. She uses scissors.
But if you never saw the ending of Halloween 4 or were too scared to see that, it gives you kind of a renaissance to the first movie with the POV,
which is pretty cool. Plus, John Carpenter didn't really like Rob Zombie's version because he killed 3 people instead of 1 on in John Carpenter's. And Rob Zombie kills the stepdad or mom's boyfriend, whatever you can call it, and then he kills the boyfriend of his sister and kills his sister. But you gotta remember, what Rob Zombie was trying to do is modernize it during that time, which was what, 2007? 2007, he tried to get a new generation ready, but...
Hang on, I'm gonna go get something. I'm gonna get something to eat.
Okay. You want me to keep him entertained?
Yeah.
By the way, John Carpenter, Rob Zombie kind of butt-headed because he didn't pay original. Part 2, yes, he did pay original to them. But what they did do is that they did a fireball ending, but I think Rob Zombie could try doing part 3 again, but that would be weird because it would be like what? 2009? A few years later? A bunch of years later? 2009 was maybe Rob Zombie.
All right. Where were we?
We're talking about we're talking about H2O.
Oh, right. So for some of you who were so blindsided by half of the horror movie sequels that you saw, half of the Halloween sequels you saw, did you know that they had a different script for some of them?
Are you talking as in producer cut and director cut, or just like they were rejected, but they rewrote the script?
Like rejected scripts with a different storyline.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of scripts for the producer's cut, which is extra content.
Hey, Theodore. Did you know that Halloween 4 was not supposed to include Jamie Lloyd at all?
Was there supposed to be a second person to Michael?
No. It was supposed to be the continuing saga of Laurie Strode, Tommy, and Lindsay.
But why was it rejected by Paramount?
Well, Mustafa Khan didn't like Dennis Etchison's script of Halloween 4 because...
Was he like the producer, director? Because John Carpenter is the director of all 3.
Rights to the series, so he was the producer and director. But I took a look at the script, and the reason they canceled it because close to the ending of Halloween 4, they had a Michael Myers that can grow in size.
Hey, Colin, did you know that most games have the same thing that you're talking about in movies? A bunch of games have cut content too, and like they all correlate. Games have it, video games have it, and movies all have it. All the stuff has it into one thing, right? You notice that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But games don't cut it much as you guys think.
And in a Halloween movie, it would be ridiculous to see Myers grow in size. That would just make his kills more brutal.
By the way, They didn't bring the same actor as Jason. If you guys don't know who played Jason in the last 3 movies, we know who we're talking about. We're not gonna. That's for a different video, a different time.
But let's just say he played the role of Myers in part 4 and 6.
Who?
George P. Wilbur.
Oh, George P. Wilbur was. I'm thinking about someone else, guys. Sorry.
But
Should we go through all the actors who play Michael?
yes.
So
definitely.
part 1, we have Nick Castle.
Nick Castle was the OG Michael Myers.
He played him in original or classic. Next, you go next.
Dick Warlock, Halloween 2.
And 3, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, in Halloween 3, it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
If you guys don't know what happens in Halloween 2, there's these masks that Michael Jackson kills people when they put the mask on.
But it only reveals his eyes partially.
Okay, next we have George P. Wilbur, part 4.
First, can I explain one thing?
You wanna go? Go.
Yeah. In Halloween not H2O. Damn it. Halloween 3. Just in the opening scene, you think that the person in a jumpsuit is Michael Myers completely unmasked. You think it's him, but it was a psychotic mechanic.
Okay, now part 4.
Yeah.
George P. Wilbur, best, and also we have a stuntman for that one. We'll get to him later, but
George P. Wilbur is the
Okay.
most kick-ass Michael Myers ever since they brought him back in the picture in November or late October of 1998.
Next we have part 5.
Donald Shanks.
He was okay, but he kind of did a little with his own kills. They showed lots of kills in there, but he said that one of his
Oh, part 4 though. We left out the good and best kills in Halloween 4.
Let's go back. Okay, so part 1, favorite kill the guy liked was the one where he pinned him against the wall, and then part
Yeah, when he killed Bob and made him into a lawn ornament or wall ornament.
and then part 2, the best one was the drowning nurse in the second one.
The hot tub scene.
Yeah, where he drowns. He's like,
I thought the injection to the head
well, that
was.
was okay. Yeah, that was okay. Now he also told us something. That we didn't know about part 3.
The ventriloquist dummy one.
Oh,
Yeah, when he lifts her up, with the scalpel in her back.
you want to tell him? You want to tell him about part 3 kill that he told us about that we didn't know about?
Oh, plunging his stomach. No,
Right.
plunging his hand through his stomach, and you won't believe what they use for that kind of deal.
For orange, there's some orange stuff. There's some stuff coming on. Tell him what it was.
Frozen orange juice.
So that was the good, and they think he didn't. And the guy who interviewed on what was his name? Dick Warlock said he didn't know that was orange. He said it probably didn't taste that bad. I mean, frozen oranges can't taste that bad, can it?
I've had frozen orange juice.
Is it bad?
Not really.
Next one, we are going to talk about Judas Wilber's favorite kill. The impalement with the shotgun through the stomach.
That was a badass stunt.
Let me ask you guys something.
Would that be a good?
Wouldn't that be psycho if he just started going like this?
I was trying to say, wouldn't that be a good fatality move in a Mortal Kombat video game?
Leave in the comments. I got one. Okay, now Don Shanks' kill didn't make it into the movie. They cut it.
Because they were supposed to stab Rachel directly in the shoulder. Well, not in the shoulder, but through her neck.
But his favorite kill that made it to the movie was the mowing side because he grew up on a farm and used the mowing side. What's the next movie?
Technically, my favorite kill in Halloween 5
Huh?
would have to be the rake to the forehead.
Oh, part 6. Tom Morega. Who also played in part 5 and 4. He was a stuntman for part 4.
George P. Wilbur was in some scenes.
Yeah, but if you guys don't know the stunt, Tom Morega played the stunt devil in part 4 and 5 and 6. Here's what he did.
Tony Moran played the...
Tom Morega.
Oh, Tom Morega?
Yeah. He also played in Friday the 13th part 5. He was copycat Jason and real Jason in flashbacks.
But, yeah. Tom Morega basically just... He played the stunt version of Michael in part 4.
5 and 6.
I'm talking about when he's in the bandages.
Oh. Okay, anyway, guys. He did give a favorite Michael kill. Let's talk about our favorite kill from part 6. Mine is the one where he puts him against the electrical box and the head explodes.
And his fucking head explodes.
But he said his favorite kill was the motorcycle in part 5 of Friday the 13th. He said that Jason has more fun with his kills than Michael. Right? Do you agree or disagree that Jason has more fun with his kills?
I agree with Voorhees' logic.
Anyway, let's go with the next one. Part 6.
Wait a minute. You said your favorite kill in part 6.
Oh, my favorite kill is the one where he puts him against the lunchbox and he starts shaking and his head explodes.
My favorite kill in Halloween 6 would have to.
Where it's called the Curse of Michael Myers.
Would have to be the hatchet to the neck.
Also, to see it's where Michael A. Luner played the theatrical version.
And who played him in the producer's cut?
Tom Rega.
Oh,
Tom Rega played him in the real producer's cut, but then Michael A. Luner came for the theater cut, which is also known as director's cut.
All right.
And now we're going to move on to part H2O, the one that shouldn't have been there.
Oh, speaking of H2O, I actually have a rejected script that never made it to the big screen. And considering this is only 7 pages long, it's a pretty good script. I've read this script cover to cover, and it's pretty obvious why they never made it to the theaters.
Okay, we're going to talk about our favorite kill now. What's your favorite kill in Halloween H2O?
Corkscrew to the neck.
I like the one where he's holding him up so much and he starts twitching and drops him and goes.
They pulled the same thing with the nurse in Halloween 2.
It was basically like an homage to part 2.
All right.
What's your favorite kill? And now we're going to the last one.
Resurrection.
Wait, who plays in H2O? Chris
Durant.
Chris Durant is a good Michael, I think. Now we're going to the last one. Bradley Lee, who played in Halloween.
Resurrection.
Favorite one was where he chopped the head off of that one guy.
Where he stabs his sister in the back while she's hanging off the hospital building.
What's your cousin doing?
I have no idea.
That's crazy. Don't line over there.
All right. So, can we go over this script?
Now we gotta keep moving, right, Michael? We have Rob Zombies too. Sorry, guys, we have someone around. We're not gonna tell you that. Okay then.
All right. Tyler Mane.
Tyler Mane played him in Halloween.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and Halloween 2.
Favorite kill, he said, was the one where he stabbed the nurse in the second one multiple times.
But there's a difference. Sorry.
They won an Oscar. She won an Oscar. What's her name?
Yeah.
His name is she won an Oscar. Octavia Spencer won an Oscar for winning. Next one. Halloween 2018 by John Carpenter.
James Jude Courtney.
With Michael Myers. He said his favorite kill was the one from part 1. But what was our favorite kill in Halloween 2018? My favorite kill was when
impaled on a fence.
I think my favorite kill was when where he I don't know how to explain it.
Seriously, dude?
Yeah, I just don't know. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this script now.
We gotta end the script.
No, we can't.
No, he was in it.
It doesn't matter. We can blur it out. There's always a way of blurring it out. Don't do it.
Okay.
End it. Fine. We're gonna restart. I don't want to start because that's gonna kill me.
All right.
So we'll blur that out. Don't worry who that was. Okay. But anyway, you want to talk about your script that you made or the rejected script?
All right. For some of you who are out there watching a bunch of horror movies such as Halloween, you know there's a bunch of rejected scripts before we actually got the movie that we already saw. Halloween H2O, that was made in the summer of 1998, actually written in the year 1994, before 1998 actual movie got released. Case in point, the poster said, "Evil does not take a vacation."
Yeah, if you look at all the posters, they always have like a line. Like for the first one, they said, "The night he came home."
Yeah, but this was a rejected script that was written by Kevin Williamson. Shout out for that dude who wrote this script. I've read the script from cover to cover. It was really kick-ass, but I'm sorry it didn't make it to the big screen.
But before we keep moving, we're going to give our shout-outs to our...
We're going to give a shout-out to Zach Cherry.
Slash and Cast.
Braden Timmons.
Keep going, because I don't know.
Dr. Wolfula. Drum Dums. Phil Master Adam, also known as Adam J. And also Also, a shout out to the guys that we watched the movie.
And the last guy, I'm gonna give shout outs to film theorists. They do a lot of different movies, but they mostly do horror movies. So shout out to them.
Yeah, and a shout out to John Carpenter.
Shout out to the people who made the movies happen. And that guy's been crazy.
And a shout out to Mustafa Akkad's son, Malik Akkad.
Shout out to anyone who made a horror movie. Just really.
All right.
You guys built my childhood.
All right. So here it is. Halloween H2O treatment. Laurie Strode, thought dead, is discovered to be very much alive, living in a quiet, content life as mother and teacher at a small New England all-girls prep school. But with the eve of All Hallows Eve quickly approaching, Laurie Strode's world is once again ripped apart by the arrival of an old family member.
Hey, you don't want to read all of it because that's called a copyright. It's claimed that's called copyright.
But let me get them the short version.
Yeah, just don't read all of it because that's called copyright, and I don't want you to get copyright straight.
All right. So here's the short version of the script. Laurie Strode is still a teacher at an all-prep school, but instead of Marion Chambers, who's going in the house to get killed by Michael, it's actually Dr. Loomis's daughter.
Do you want to tell what happened to the real Don Loomis, Don Pleasance?
Yeah.
Rip him.
Yeah, rest in peace, Donald Pleasance. You were the best. You were the best actor in not Race to Witch Mountain, but Escape to Witch Mountain and the Halloween series.
We're just gonna tell you we hope you're doing well in heaven. If you guys don't know what happened, he got a heart attack and died from it.
Yeah, months before Halloween 6 premiered in theaters.
So he didn't get to see his last success.
May he rest in peace.
But anyway, doesn't mean now it's surprising that all the other medical actors lived.
Yeah. All right. So
when we're done with this, I'm gonna tell you. But anyway,
what you guys said?
I don't want to talk to him because it's about your movie that you're making.
We can say that.
Anyway, guys, I have some good news. We have a movie we're making. We're making Halloween H3O.
Yeah. For some of you who don't realize what year Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, takes place in, it takes place in 1995. But
30 years later.
But the script that I wrote takes place 30 years after the events of Halloween 6, ignoring the H2O. Nope.
Say it. Except H2O.
And Resurrection timeline.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. So we were looking for, some people. Well, guess what? I have an officer over in where I live. Not going to say the town because I don't want to say it, but guess what he said? He will let us borrow 3 pieces of body armor if we want. 3 pieces for free. Body armor. Sergeant O'Brien. Thank you.
So
if you need body armor for this movie that we're making, I got it.
Yeah, because every time Myers gets shot, he doesn't die, right? Because he's always padded. The actor's always padded, so he doesn't die.
How did he survive a freaking shot in the eyes? How did he block that, huh? Explain that.
I think that was a letdown.
Yeah, okay, you shoot in the eyes. How is he still doing this? Trying to swing at you? He can't see you.
Well, sometimes if you shoot somebody in the eyes, if you shoot someone in the eyes, it doesn't technically pierce their skull, much as an artery.
Michael has this thing called superhuman cells, which when somebody gets hurt, it generates repeatedly.
Yeah, I think I got that.
Anyway, yeah.
Where's Mom and Dad?
Outside. Smoking
Why don't you say
cigarettes.
something instead of...
They're smoking cigarettes.
Okay, anyway.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, you want to talk to him about the Q&A now?
Well, I was
Show them
thinking...
the poster quick.
I
Show them
was
the poster.
thinking we can go through the script of what Halloween H3O is.
Still, I don't want to do it. I think you should surprise people.
Well, it's best to get them prepared before the movie gets released. Like a read-through, an official read-through.
I'd wait for a different video for that, but you can do that if you want.
So look, this is the poster that we had the idea for. Halloween H3O, The Shape Returns. it was originally supposed to be called The Return of the Thorn. I had the idea back in ninth grade or eighth grade when I had the idea.
Okay.
But I actually designed this poster this year.
Okay.
And keep in mind, when I actually have a few copies of the script because we're actually looking for people to audition for the movie.
Do you want to tell me where you got Michael's thing?
Oh, and for some of you who are thinking of playing the role as Michael Myers, that role is already filled.
And tell me who's playing Michael?
He is.
I know I'm not buff as Michael, but hey, whoever said Michael is super strong.
True. But here's what you got to keep in mind. When it comes to writing a successful movie script, you have to have both the original script and the rewrite. Now, everyone knows the theatrical cut and the original cut both have alternate storylines.
Okay. We all know, if you guys seen the cut for the producer's cut for 6, it shows Michael having a kid with his niece, which is kind of messed up.
Only a flashback.
It's a flashback. She died from impalement.
Impalement in the producer's cut.
This is the only producer's cut you get to see that.
Oh, but that it doesn't have, she doesn't get killed off later until in the hospital.
Okay.
But in the theatrical cut, she gets killed on the corn thresher.
Who killed her?
Michael.
In both films?
Mm-hmm.
Producer's cut and non-producer's cut, he killed them both?
Yeah.
So she gets killed off in the beginning in the producer's cut, but
So
ending, she gets killed off later, right?
yeah. So
I don't need a script.
well, I was thinking we could do a read through of the characters in the script.
We don't want to read it. I'm not going to read it aloud because I can't read.
All right. So let's get to the part without Donald Pleasance narrating. All right. So Jamie's having a flashback to Halloween 6.
Don't spoil the whole thing. You just want to go through like this. Give a brief of every part. Brief.
Yeah.
You don't want to read it out. You just want to brief it, kind of, but make sure it's a very well explained out. But you gotta make it brief.
All right. Here, let's go right here. Somewhere near Haddonfield, Illinois, a man in a jumpsuit makes his way to town, walking on his walker. He makes a pit stop at a local gas station, only for the mechanic to recognize the mysterious geezer. We're on page 3. Wait, which one did I give you?
You gave me the shape returns.
Oh.
This doesn't matter. Just keep going. You gave me the same thing. It's just that this one. It's over here.
Oh, yeah, right here. All right, so this is where you read the role of the gas mechanic, of the gas station mechanic.
I don't need to read it. You got. It says, "Hey, James, can you give me a hand fixing here?" Then slips from under the car. Okay, James, you gotta read Michael, and then the beat, and the music, the classic music plays.
Mm-hmm. The shape picks up the mechanic by his throat and slams him against the auto body shop garage window, which causes this shape to finish him off with a tire iron impaled to the gut. Michael, who is unmasked at this point, manages to shove the poor soul under the car, driving the vehicle over his corpse, causing the car to rip his face to shreds, and crash the car through an auto body shop window.
Yeah. Okay. So then we talk about Jamie Lloyd, and
she's in her Jamie Lloyd is in her 30s at this point, or mid to late 30s.
Then we have one.
And I took one line from the movie Jaws, which was "Smile, you son of a bitch," because this was actually the best line for this scenario. because when Jamie Lloyd was 7 years old in 1988, Michael Myers escaped that night because she was the next living member of his bloodline. So, after 30 years of hiding from him, she had enough of his bullshit because he wrecked his childhood. I mean, he wrecked her childhood.
I mean, if someone tried to kill you guys, wouldn't you guys be in your childhood too?
And Michael's childhood was already ruined when he was a kid.
He was basically locked up his whole life, almost. Keep going.
In this scene, he kills Dr. Sartain in his house.
Okay. So Dr. Sartain is taking off his mask while choking. Michael is going to hell. And then it says, with one hand crushing Dr. Sartain's bladder, the Shape decapitates him, carrying his severed head and throwing it onto his sidewalk. So really.
Yeah.
So basically, we already know Michael basically decapitated him.
All right, so she calls Dr. Sartain, which he's like, "Hello? Ah, Jamie Lloyd. I've read about you more than a few Dr. Loomis's memoirs about your uncle and his former patient, Michael Audrey Myers, about how he terrorized you when you were only a child. In 1995, your obituary in the papers said you died due to certain circumstances regarding a barn inferno. But here you are, alive and well. Dr. Sartain, thank God you answered." The Shape slips into Dr. Sartain's house completely unnoticed, holding a blade in the background. "Why did you decide to give me a call?" "Michael Myers has escaped, and he's coming after me and my son." "Now, Jamie, do you know it's not wise to play Halloween pranks on me?" I'm not fucking joking. I'm not fucking joking. Get Sheriff Brackett down here right now. And if he doesn't show up, it's your funeral. Let me reread that. I'm not fucking joking. Get Sheriff Brackett down here. One more time. I'm not fucking joking. Get Sheriff Brackett down into Haddonfield now. And if you don't, it's your funeral. She slams the landline. And Theodore already read this part right here. So, Michael kills Dr. Sartain. The Shape goes over to the phone and notices his niece was on the other line, and he just listens to her while heavily breathing. "I don't know what you want with us. I don't know why you're doing this. But let me make things sparkling clear. You really fucked up my childhood. And now that I'm an adult, you're coming after me and my son? Because you've got nothing better to do? Why don't you face me like a man, you fucking coward?" The Shape manages to remain on the line, breathing heavily until the phone line goes dead. Jamie, noticing that answering the phone was completely useless, she knew in order to successfully destroy Myers once and for all, but first she needed to round up a few troops. And that's as far as we're going to get without any spoilers for this one.
I kind of lost track of where we were. But, I kind of understand that someone from part one and all the other ones are coming back. We're not going to spoil who it is, but you guys probably can guess. Watch all the movies and try to figure it out. I'm pretty sure you guys will figure it out pretty soon. Do you want to give them a clue?
Actually, if you've seen one of the Halloween movies from parts 1 going on to part 2, let's just say it's one of the police officers.
Yes, and it's not one of the deputies. It's actually one of the police officers. But you guys can figure it out. I'm pretty sure you guys already know.
But there is a reason Dr. Loomis is in part of the movies. Because it pays tribute to him.
It should be to the original because we have Dr. Loomis, even though the real actor is passed. But,
I have a friend of mine
that can do a very good Dr. Loomis voice. Hey, what kind of nationality is Dr. Loomis?
British.
And we have a friend who's British, so we're not going to give any spoilers. Yeah.
And of course, there are some sequels after that one. because if the Halloween series does end, I'm gonna bring back the Halloween series with new sequels. Now, Halloween 8 was also a rejected sequel as well before Resurrection got made. But Halloween 8 would have been a good sequel. I've read it. I actually wrote a different script for Halloween 8 that picks up directly after Halloween H3O, which gives a Halloween 2-like vibe to it.
Yeah.
Now, Theodore, take a look at this.
Can't read.
All right. Halloween Reborn focuses on Michael coming back even after he died. But this one actually has Dr. Loomis in the picture, but it has a little bit of a Halloween 1978 vibe to it. But in the original cut of it, they go to the local cemetery to destroy Michael's body. And they go to destroy his body. Jamie says Michael belongs in hell and she'll make sure he gets there. What does that remind me? What does that remind you of? Okay, where are my Friday the 13th Part 6 fans at?
I don't really like Part 6. I don't like the movies that had Kane Hodder as Jason, if you guys don't know.
That did have Kane Hodder in it.
Not Part 6. He was only in Part 7, 8, 9, and X. Who hated Jason X? Not because the actor. The actor was good, but
the actor was good. The storyline was terrible.
Yeah, you can't really. You gotta give credit to Kane Hodder. He's not the boss on how Jason acts. He's really. He has to follow the script.
Well, according to the original script of Halloween Reborn, Jamie Lloyd and Tommy Doyle work together.
I don't want to do that. That sounds bad.
And he says, "Yeah, fuck you, Michael." Jamie impales Michael's corpse with a loose fence pole, only for it to get struck by lightning, thus resurrecting Myers. The shape rises from the dead and snaps Tommy's neck. He picks up his mask, leaving Jamie and Steven running for the car, opening.
Guys, what does that remind you of? What Friday the 13th does that remind you of? Jason Lives. You don't remember Tommy
Jarvis
starts stabbing Jason and the lightning shocks him and Jason gets resurrected back.
Anyways,
that reminds me of
the opening credits roll with the Halloween 5 theme song playing in the background while Michael is walking into his zoomed-in eye, with him throwing the knife and blood rushing on the screen with the title card.
Huh.
All right, Scene 1, Resurrection of Vengeance.
Remember, you're not going to spoil the whole movie, are you?
I know, I'm not, no. All the parts, that's it. Only parts of it. Jamie goes into the Jamestown local police department to warn Sheriff Brackett about Myers waking up from the grave. Don't shoot. Oh shit, Jamie, you nearly gave me a damn heart attack. Sheriff, call the firing squad, get the National Army, we have a situation on our hands. Jamie, what's the meaning of all this? And it does reintroduce. This is the only movie that reintroduces Rachel Carruthers from Part 4 and 5. Is everything okay? Michael Myers is alive. The evil has returned. Sheriff Brackett says, "Impossible. I shot the bastard fair and square 4 years ago. He'd been dead for a while. Why would he come back after all these years? I impaled him with a fence pole at the graveyard because I didn't believe he was really dead. Imbecile. Do you have any idea what you've done?" "Yes, Sheriff, I destroyed the evil. So now this town is free to bring back the name Haddonfield and can celebrate Halloween in peace." "No, you dumbass. You've awakened the most vicious serial killer from the dead whose main purpose is to wipe out their entire bloodline, starting with you and your son." Oh shit.
Yeah, guys, if you've seen Halloween, I mean, Friday 13th part 6, you guys know what that whole graveyard thing. You guys have to watch it. It's called Jason Lives.
That's why I said Halloween Part 6.
Do you want to tell me what happened in part 4 or 5?
Oh yeah, in Jason X or
No, 4.
Friday 13th Part 4,
The
the
final-
final chapter. Tommy Jarvis had enough of Jason's bullshit.
You know that's the first time I mean they actually killed him. And then part 5 we have a fake Jason, like we mentioned. Tom Morgan plays copycat Jason, which is it's really just Roy Burns and getting revenge because his child was killed.
And the worst thing is, in Tommy's hallucinations of Voorhees, he basically just, in the end, he's in the hospital. And who the fuck comes to visit him? The one person who wrecked his whole childhood.
Jason. Now, he's not. I think. Do you think who thinks Tommy was psychically connected with Jason in a way?
I think he
Because
was.
if you guys listen to part 5, you can hear like little like things inside going saying "die, die." You can hear him in his head saying that.
And his
Sister.
sister kept telling him to get away from him.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see part 4, watch it.
Yeah. What's your favorite kill from Part 4 anyway?
My favorite kill is like Jason did. I don't remember any of the specific kills.
There was
There's one where the corkscrew. The hell, where's corkscrew? Give it to the face.
there was a few horror movie knockoffs that I have seen. And yes, Friday the 13th has a few horror movie knockoffs. Like
They Never Hike in the Snow is one of them.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, guys, it's just you know it's the same killer and everything. It's just they name it something different to make a new horror franchise.
Yeah, it's different name, same mask, different motive.
Okay.
Anyways, this was the theatrical cut of Halloween Reborn. This is the rewritten version, or Halloween 9, if you will. Halloween 9 basically has the same scene from Halloween 1978, except instead of Laurie, you got Jamie saying, "Was that the boogie geezer?" And Loomis says, "As a matter of fact, it was." Dr. Loomis goes to investigate the body bag where Michael would have been lying down, only to find the body bag was empty. And Michael shows up, walking out of the inferno where he collapses into a state of unconsciousness. The police go over to handcuff him and shackle him while removing his mask off his face. And this is the one where I thought it would be a good idea for him to be on death row.
I mean, it's a different mask for every movie, if you guys were aware.
Yeah, and every mask was the worst in some sequels.
Was it part 1 and part 2 same thing?
Yeah. Part 4, that was a fucked up mask.
Part 5 was even worse.
Part 5 looked like
Alien.
they looked like they had the mold of a prostitute and used that mold for a mask.
I don't want to talk about what I've seen, but the mask.
Now, Part 6 did pay tribute to the original in some way.
They just made the mask look all like messed up. Because
No.
you guys don't know, part 2, the mask disappeared and they had Michael broke into a Halloween store and grabbed a Will Shatner mask.
And Part 7, or H2O, they had to use multiple different masks. But they did use a Halloween 6 mask in H2O in the opening scene. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah. The scene fades to black with a lit up jack-o'-lantern in the middle of a dark shadow revealing the opening credits. October 30th, 2041. Exterior, Haddonfield Federal Correctional Center. Interior, Death Row Cell Block. Dr. Loomis is escorted down the hall so he can say his last dialogue towards Myers before he gets escorted to his sentence. Michael, It pains me knowing that after all that we've been through since I was appointed as a psychiatrist at Smith's Grove Sanitarium on October 31st, 1963, and now after all of the lives you have taken your own life with the death penalty. I wish there was more I could do, Michael. I wish there was something I could do to get your sentence canceled. But it's out of my hands now. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. This is goodbye, and may God have mercy on your soul. The guards guide both Sheriff and Deputy Hunt to Myers' cell. The Shape, completely unmasked, goes to the cell bars, and the guards open the cell door. They shackle him from head to toe, and he is escorted to the execution chamber. Michael, with his limbs bound, is placed into the electric chair, strapped from head to toe. You got any last words, Michael? Fuck you!
He didn't talk. We can't do that.
He had one line in Halloween 2.
Oh, and you can, I forgot to tell you, in Chromebooks, you can only film for an hour, so you gotta wait.
Catch you on the flip side.
Now, if you want to edit,